Executed by the communists. She was a boat person coming to our country. She's the only refugee on the floor, and yet she didn't have a right to speak. And what they did is, with the supermajority, they can change the rules on the fly. And they're quick and loose with the truth. And so when she threw her mic up to do it, they muzzled her mic. Now, she didn't adjourn in memory of him. She adjourned in memory of all the Vietnamese that died at the hands of the communist regime. And that she just simply said that he supported that regime. So that's what started, and what was interesting is nobody knew what she was saying because she started in Vietnamese. So she got it all out in Vietnamese, and only when she switched to English. Now, people knew the jig was up a little bit when they heard Tom Hayden, Vietnamese, Tom Hayden, Vietnamese. But, more power to her for standing her ground and going forward. And I'm giving a tour this afternoon of the Senate, and our tour is going to change a little bit. We're going to allow people to, when they get on the Senate floor, stand at her desk and hold up a hashtag, Let Janet Speak. And I would invite you all, if you'd like to come. We're leaving the governor's office right where the Golden Bear is at 3:30 sharp, so if you plan to come, get there at 3:15. And then we'll proceed up the elevators. You will not be able to go up the elevators without a member with you. And, if you don't see me, I know John Morlock's here. I know that we have other legislators here. So if you miss me, grab one of them and say, hey, can I go on the floor and take a picture at Janet Wynn's desk? And what we need to do is we need to Facebook that out. We need to text it, email it. We need to tweet it out. Absolutely. People need to hear this loud and clear. The press here has a quick 24-hour cycle, but they never want to cross the Democrat leadership for fear that they'll be cut out of stories in the future. And they use that leverage over the press. I tried to expel a senator that was found guilty of 8 felonies.
Yep.
And I was told by the press it wasn't newsworthy, and I asked the press, in the 49 other states, are there a lot of felons serving on their floor? And they said, well, we don't know. And I said, well, maybe you should. I don't believe there are any felons that should not be serving and voting on the Senate floor. But I was shocked that they wouldn't even cover that story. So what I'm worried about is this story will die in the way they treat us, the way they bully us. We all represent close to 1 million people. You have a right to, it's not our voice, it's your voice. We're your representative. So you have a right to be heard. Even Republican minorities on the Senate floor deserve a right to be heard. But, so I would encourage you to do that. Now that, politicians love to have mics, so let me just tell you what I'm working on. I'm fighting SB 54. That creates a sanctuary state. And they're forcing sanctuary on everybody. And what the bill says is that no state employee or any law enforcement locally may assist the federal government on any immigration. That means they can't talk to them, that can't allow them to use their facilities, they can't do anything. Now, the federal government has a right to enforce federal law, and you cannot stop it. But what it's going to do is it's going to force them to do sweeps through people's communities to find felons. We have over 11,000 felons. First time you say anything about immigration, oh, you're a racist. First thing they say is, you're a racist, you're a racist.
I know.
So I was talking to a reporter from KTLA, he was having me on TV, and he was interviewing me, and he said, well, isn't that a racist view? And I said, we have over 11,000 felons, murderers, rapists, child molesters, serving in a prison today. To deny that undocumented ever commit a crime makes you a crime denier.
Yep.
And so, needless to say, I spoke for 45 minutes to 50 minutes with him. He used 3.5 seconds of our interview because it didn't fit his narrative. But the bottom line is, if you shield these felons as SB 54 shields them, where do they go? Back to our community. It guarantees they return to our community. We have enough homegrown pedophiles. We don't need to import other people's problems. And so the reporter said to me, well, what about all the other murderers, rapists, and pedophiles? What are you going to do about them? I said, if I could find another country stupid enough to allow me to deport them, I'd deport them too. But sadly, they're homegrown. So, this is a major fight. In 2013, the legislature, without a Republican vote, passed the Trust Act. And what the Trust Act said is if you are a dreamer and you're here to improve your life, and you get pulled over for jaywalking, or you get pulled over for a broken taillight, we're not gonna turn you over to ICE. And you can argue whether that's good policy or bad policy. But SB 54 takes it to the next step. It doesn't protect them, it shields felons. And we need to be loud and clear that we draw the line, we're not gonna stand. Because you know, even when you talk among minority communities, they fundamentally understand that those felons don't have a litmus test. They don't say, are you a US citizen or are you undocumented? They prey on everyone, and they prey on those communities. So this is a chance for Republicans to really show that we're compassionate about those minorities and that we don't want those felons going back to their communities to prey on them. So in your packets, when you all got your bags, there's a memo from me asking that you sign up in support. I'm trying to get 100, we have 20,000 people who signed the petition. We're trying to get to 100,000. I want to deliver them on the Senate floor. I want them to understand that we are the vocal minority, and we're not going to stand for felons being returned to our communities that should be deported. So I hope that helps you. There's another issue, SB 18, but I don't want to take all the time. Yes, sir.
As a city councilman, what can I do to fight SB 54?
Pass a resolution in opposition, because they're forcing you. Now, I will tell you, from your standpoint, you know, I tried to hear my remarks for who's in the crowd. Your city or county is going to lose federal funding. Not because President Trump is a bully, not because he's trying to punish us. It's because these are grants based on immigration. And if you say, I will not do what the grant requires, you don't qualify for the grant. There's $135 million that's going to your city and your county to offset the cost of illegal immigration of felons. And so, you know, you're talking about gang programs that go after M13, an international gang. You're talking about programs that help offset the cost of those felons serving in your jails. We had the Kings County Sheriff. I spoke to him the other day. He has 400 people in his jail. 19 of them are tagged for ICE. One of them is a Canadian that he's trying to deport. That's 19 people he's trying to deport, and he receives federal grants for that. ICE rents space in his jail. They don't impose on anyone. They're paying for space, for access to the computer, to chase these people down, to deport them, so that they don't return to our communities. Now they're saying they won't be able to work with them, so they're not going to be able to pay them for that space. They're not going to be able to compensate them. In the county of Orange County, they have 600 beds that ICE rents, that they're going to lose that revenue. And we're keep talking about how we don't have enough money for public safety. They're going to have to lay off officers because they're no longer going to be able to support them because they lose that federal funding. This is nuts. Now they keep saying, oh, this is about protecting dreamers. No. When you hear that, you say, no. In 2013, we protected dreamers with the Trust Act. This is about protecting felons. And you know why? Because I will tell you this. I'm the lead senator opposing this. I've been on national TV, statewide TV, and local TV, and I'm just opposing it. The author gets to go on and gets way more press promoting this, and what do politicians like? They like a lot of press before they run for higher office. Look for the author running for U.S. Senate. That's why he's chosen this issue. It's not about protecting Californians. It's about, power, pure and simple power.
Yep.
For the same reasons why they exercise that power to squash Janet Wynn when she tried to speak out for her district. Yes, sir.
Senator, is there an argument to be made that if SB 54 passes, the state doesn't have jurisdiction over county sheriff's departments, city police departments, and so forth?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
In other words, if the county says, your sheriff's department will cooperate with us, or